Welcome to the Field of 68 After Dark's YouTube channel. We are going to be live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube and on Stadium for the entirety of the spring. John Calipari, he left Kentucky for Arkansas, and he has gotten to work in the transfer portal, and he has landed all of one player on his entire roster. That is Big Z. Is Big Z enough all by himself to be able to allow John Calipari to make his way to the 2025 NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I mean, that's all they need. Like Big Z. Think about it. Big Z can handle it. He can pass it to himself. He can shoot it. He can block shots. Like, why do you need anything else around Big Z? Just throw Big Z out there by himself.
Is he going to be the last guy that follows Cal from Kentucky to Arkansas? How about that?
No, hell no. Hell no. No, there'll be other guys because, again, guys commit to a place for a coach, especially at Kentucky for John Calipari. He'll get some of those recruits. Now, I hope he doesn't bring in 5 or 6 of them to to Arkansas, because I don't think that's the way to go anymore. If I were him, I'd bring like 3, maybe 4 freshmen, but I'd load up with a bunch of transfers in year one because you have the money to be able to do it, and this is the last year of the extra COVID year. So we've seen what that does in terms of the age gap. After next year, it may revert back a little bit where you can take more freshmen, especially at the highest level. But if their name's not Cooper Flagg, I don't know if they're going to be that dominant this freshman class. I think Cooper Flagg's a guy we know is going to be a high-level impact guy at Duke. But other than that, I don't know how strong this class is going to be to whereas those freshmen are going to make a huge impact. So if I'm Cal, I'm trying to get DJ Wagner. And like I'm not the biggest DJ Wagner fan, but get DJ Wagner, get Big Z. Ugonna Onyensu already said he's gone. He's off to the NBA, which is baffling. A baffling decision to me that he had like 4 really good games and like 27 games where you didn't even notice he was on the floor. So I don't know who's giving him advice. Whoever it is, I'd love to talk to him because they're giving him bad advice. But to me, Bradshaw goes to Ohio State. We'll talk about that later in the show. So Wagner and Big Z, bring them to Fayetteville, add another 7 transfers, and bring in, 9? Bring in 4 freshmen. That's the blueprint for me.
This is something I'm really curious about, and I've kind of gone back and forth on this, right? We talked about the expectations for Kentucky when we were talking about Mark Pope, right? And I think that also plays into a factor when it comes to discussing what John Calipari's legacy is going to be there. If he replicated the last 4 years, let's say instead of losing in the first round of St. Peter's, like that's a Sweet 16 team, right? And you find a way every 2 to 3 years to get to the second weekend. You're in the mix for SEC titles. You're in the mix for SEC tournament titles. Once in a while you make a deep tournament run. Once in a while you get upset in the first round as a high seed. Is that enough at Arkansas? Like, will that, if he can replicate that same level of success that he had the last 4 years at Kentucky at Arkansas, are Arkansas fans going to be happy with that? Like, is that enough for them?
Like you said, I think a big part of honestly what I think Arkansas fans are going to measure themselves against Kentucky a little bit, but I think they got to get to a Final Four because they just got a huge name that they kind of forget has struggled the last 4 years, number one, and Muss had him knocking on the door twice. I mean, he had him at the Elite 8 twice, Sweet 16. He's got him nationally relevant. That fan base may not be as nuts as Kentucky, but they're not that far off. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like unless Cal gets him to at least where Muss got him, how's that? If you get him to Elite 8, I think over the next 3-4 years, Arkansas fans will be cool with that. But the other part is, how much is Cal going to connect with that fan base? How much is he at 65 years old going to do some of those things that Muss did, right? When they loved him. He was revered up until this year. And really what changed it was the fact that Arkansas fans got wind that Muss didn't want to be there anymore. And then they said, screw you. If you don't want to be here in Fayetteville, we don't want you here. Go get the hell out of here.
Thanks for watching the Field of 68 After Dark. Make sure to hit that like button.